I'm working on this afternoon. This is the Sky 150 that I bought off of Iris Paramotor. Bought it for marketing purposes, that sort of thing. What was the purpose of buying it? Well, ideally I wanted to shoot a video of all of like the high performance foot launch paramotor engines. So the factory R, Polini 202, Sky 150. I put the Simonini 250 in that category because it's kind of with it being air cooled, real lightweight, put that in there. I don't have a Tornado 280, but that would be a good one to put in as well. I think it'd be pretty cool to have a shootout of all of the different high performance paramotor engines. So maybe someday that'll happen, but I gotta get some money coming in for White Arrow Works. So White Arrow and Machine Works. I gotta get my used to saying that. So we have red light for the microphone. Looks like everything is working. So I want to show what's going on with this here. I needed to clean up this carburetor a little bit. It had some of the scaling from when I put it in the ultrasonic there. I left some staining and stuff like that. So I'm just wiping that down a bit, clean it up some. It doesn't have anything to do with the functionality of it, but clean that up a bit, wiping the engine down. This engine is really, I like this engine a lot. It's got a ton of power and it sounds awesome, but I just don't need it right now. An awesome tip that I can give you for paramotor mechanicking is to do this. So when you're dropping your engine, what you need to do, so we got our illustrious Sky 150 mounted to Fly Products rider. So what I'm gonna do is lay it on the ground. I've got a piece of foam here. Right? Piece of foam on the ground. Then I got the paramotor. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay the prop hub down on the piece of foam to protect it. You don't really want to ding. You don't want to ding the prop hub. What you do, hopefully I can get this angled kind of halfway correctly, is we're going to lay this down. Boom. All right. Now what I can do is I can take all of my hardware out for the engine, and then I don't have to sit there and try to hold the engine or have somebody hold the engine up while I'm unscrewing it or putting it on the stand or anything like that. Makes it super easy. Sky 150 is off the frame, bam. So I'm gonna post that on Facebook Marketplace tonight. If you're looking for a Sky 150, take a look at Facebook Marketplace or hit me up in here. Hopefully it'll sell really quickly, and by the time this video goes out, it'll already be gone and you're poop out of luck anyway, but hopefully it'll sell quickly. It's an awesome engine. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and make this video my first video for the channel. I guess I can do a explanation of who I am, what I do, that sort of thing. You may not be coming from the paramotor community. You may be, I don't know who you are. I don't know why you're watching my video, but I'm glad you're here. That's cool. I'm glad you're tagging along, and if you made it to the end of this video, then that's pretty awesome. But anyway, so my name is Neil White. I work at Aviator Paramotor. I am a paramotor mechanic. It's a very strange job. There's not a whole lot of people that do this in the world. Paramotor is if you're not familiar with paramotor is, the backpack thing that you throw on your back, and there's an engine and a propeller, and you clip into a paraglider and pull it up over your head and then run off into the sky. That's what we do. It's super fun. It's such a cool, interesting, unique hobby that it's just different, that's for sure. And I've been fortunate enough in my life to be able to make a living at it, which is not a lot of people are able to do. It is such a small niche, community that sport. It's tough to break into and do it full-time. A lot of people do it as a hobby, do it on the side, and it's, so we're very fortunate that I'm able to do it full-time, and I intend to do it full-time for the rest of my life. I love this sport. I love this community. I love changing people's lives. I love helping them. I love being part of people changing their lives. That's really what it is. It's amazing. Tonight, as always, I'll show you all real quick. I have this This radio here, this is 1939 General Electric. I forget the model name, but it's an old school tube radio. It's got the tubes in there. I'll show you the tubes. The tubes are pretty cool. It's got the tubes in back and everything. It's the real deal. I wanted an old school radio in my shop. I love the sound of AM radio. There's certain songs that I hear that always remind me of being like very, very young. Probably I had to have been 3-4 years old. Certain songs in that AM radio tone just like really resonate with me. It's really cool. But I want a classic radio, and so we have it on in here, and I have this little transmitter deal that I got off of eBay that you can hook up to your computer and in your aux jack in your computer and play whatever you want. It'll transmit on an AM signal into that radio. So I like to when it's just me here in the shop, I like to listen to classic radio. So it's like old radio shows like Dragnet and Gunsmoke and stuff like that. What always strikes me about those is it's like people were dealing with the same problems back then that we are now. Like they're in Dragnet episodes they'll have heroin addicts and they're breaking up drug dealers and gang violence and all this crazy stuff that like you think is something new in our day and age, and it's really not. It's kind of always been going on. It's the more things change, the more they stay the same, I guess. It's strange. But what really always strikes me the most is listening to episodes of whatever radio show from the 1940s, so early 1940s, especially during the Second World War. It's incredible how everybody's daily life, like everybody was involved in it in some way, shape, or form. You couldn't not be involved in it. It was just it was everywhere. With the you had rationing. You had somebody in your family was probably deployed somewhere across the world doing whatever. There was no escaping it. Where nowadays, that's one thing that has changed in our day and age is our cognizance of war in our involvement in it. I think the Bretton Woods Agreement in 1973, when the United States dollar was taken off the gold standard, or officially completely taken off the gold standard, is really kind of when things really started to change. So the government is able to print money, and you no longer have to do like war bond drives and things like that. You don't have to cough up your money for the war effort, so it just doesn't seem to matter as much to us. It's kind of sad, but it's just the way it is, right? Listening to the advertisements talking about how we have to I forget what he even said, but we have to save our food for the boys overseas, and that sort of thing, that sort of vibe where we have to all do our part and all that. And we tend to look back on history with rose-colored glasses, so to speak, and we kind of look at it like everybody was on the same page during the Second World War. There really wasn't anybody who was against it. You would have been crazy if we don't even give that a thought. We don't think about the anti-war people from the Second World War. Charles Lindbergh, for instance, was very much opposed to the Second World War and in the United States involvement, and that really nearly destroyed his legacy. While he was still alive, he was kind of shunned by society, which was sad because he was a huge hero, especially to a lot of young people at that time. Like all of the Apollo astronauts, he was like their hero because growing up, in 1927, crossing the Atlantic in the Spirit of St. Louis, that was a huge thing, and he was shunned after that. And now I think his legacy is kind of he's back to being at least held in high regard, and his involvement in the America First movement at the time is not really spoken about very much anymore. But you know, it wasn't like that. There was a lot of people that were opposed to the United States involvement in the Second World War, and I don't know what's right or wrong. Like it was the most brutal thing in human history that's ever happened, and boy, I hope and pray that we never have to up that, you know, because that's not gonna be good. But anyway, I hope we got something out of this video. Maybe I'll add a little bit more tips and tricks into this kind of format. I think that'd be kind of cool, and then we'll see how it all pans out. But you know, I'll start to like this, I'm sure. All right, my friend. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll see you soon. God bless.